This evening, we're fulfilling a promise and a commitment that was made in the previous council to provide senior tax relief to our senior residents. We instead established a residency, right, that there would be a residency requirement. What was unclear if that was a residency requirement in the town of North Attleboro or in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. A senior could move into North Attleboro 18 months ago, but they lived in Attleboro, and they decided greener pastures were here in North Attleboro. They would be eligible to apply for the program and receive the benefits of it with only that 18 months of residency.
My concern with that is, the intent is, when I followed the discussion, was for people who are seniors who are in more vulnerable financial situation. So a person who's, say, lives in another town and has the finances and wherewithal to sell that home and move to North Attleboro is not in that same kind of restrictive economic state as the person who's been here for years and has a fixed income, and it's gradually getting more expensive, and the intent of this is to help defray some of that cost. So I think that's a different situation than a person who just potentially sold a home and now is perhaps moving into a smaller unit here, but is, given that circumstance, is going to have more resources.
I will say that I would find it hard to believe that anybody would sell a house, buy a house, and move towns to take advantage of this. And if they did, and their house was still valued less and they still made less, then I don't see why they wouldn't qualify if they've been inside the Commonwealth for 10 years. Not at all tied to it. It doesn't make any difference. I would say 10 years in the town, maybe less time in town if we're doing it by town, maybe 5 years in the town. My concern was in section 3, the beginning, where it said that if the board finds that the applicant has excessive assets. This one I'm positive about. We were just doing property value and income.
Right.
We were not looking at other assets.
No,
If someone has $1 million, we're not trying to give them a tax break. And this gives the assessor discretion to do that.
How do you know they have $1 million?
The assessor generally requires a tax return the first year they apply.
Neither of which would show the balance of a private investment account.
You could qualify that with, by adding the definition of what those two assets are. What I would offer is, based on the conversation and discussion here, that you would ask me to modify this, defining the excessive as the, limited to the terms within the document, and then adding North Attleboro, Massachusetts residency as the requirement.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll go to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Motion carries 6-0.